come back down to earth after that weekend in Augusta?
Yeah, I mean, reality hit pretty quickly when I had to sit in class the next day. But it's been great. It's been cool to reflect on a pretty good week. But then again, I lost by 23 shots. So there's just a lot of positives, but also a lot of things to work on. But definitely last week was a big step in the right direction.
What surprised you the most when you got out there? I always hear people say they're always surprised at how hilly the course is, all the different elevations. But what were you not expecting once you got there?
I mean, I've been out there. I've played some rounds out there before. So I guess it was just you don't really know what it's going to feel like to be out there as a competitor until you are. I guess I expected to be nervous. I didn't expect to be as nervous as I was. But, I did the best that I could to expect to be as uncomfortable as I was. And it wasn't because of the crowds or anything like that. It was just it was a big week for me, not just because it was the Masters and playing in the best field that I've ever been a part of, but it was more of just how knowing how difficult it was to get to that point. And it wasn't just my week, but it was a week for my family and for everyone who's been on the ride with me, and I didn't want to let them down. So just having that and added with the Masters and the intimidation factor, it was pretty overwhelming when I got to that first tee, but somehow hit it in the fairway on my first hole of the tournament, and the rest was history after that.
You said overwhelming, but as you're walking up and you hear your name called, what on earth is going through your mind?
Get the ball on the tee first. My hands were shaking, my hands were sweating. I think I had a brand new glove on, and I think after like the second hole I had to change gloves because I was sweating so much. But every other tournament there's like a generic, from Arlington Heights, Illinois, or representing the University of Texas, Doug Ghim. But when you get to the Masters, they do it differently. It's 4 please, and then whoever's playing. And I'm so used to I'm accustomed to having that phrase with like Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, and nowadays Ricky Fowler, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. But to hear 4 please, Doug Ghim now driving, when I heard that, my body went numb. I was just trying to take as many deep breaths. Usually I don't hit a shot until I'm comfortable, but at that point it was, don't hit the shot until you can feel your hands and actually, give yourself a chance of making contact. And, I got the ball on the tee and took as many deep breaths as I possibly could, and somehow, again, got it in the fairway. And it was a fun day after that.
How cool was it to win the way it ended for you?
It was a good week. I would have loved to play a little bit better. I know I'm better than 8 over par, but I just at that point, somewhere in the back nine, it was just kind of like I was having fun, just trying to enjoy it, and I so badly just wanted to end on a high note. I went for the second shot. It was probably ill-advised from how far back I was. I pulled it a little bit and ended up in the bunker. And I thought in my head, I was at 9 over par, I think, at the time, and I was like, I just don't want to go to double digits. I just get it up and down. If you get this close, you might get a little murmur from the crowd, which would be nice, but I don't want to be in double digits. And I got up there and had a decent lie, made really good contact, came off really well, and it was on a good line, and I was like, just please hit the pin. And I heard it hit the pin, and then my dad was up there, and he just looks back at me, and the crowd just starts going crazy, and I was like, wow, that probably wouldn't that wasn't the way I imagined it happening, but that was a pretty incredible way to finish the week.
What's it like being in Butler Cabin for that ceremony with Jim Nance, and you got Sergio there, and Patrick Reed's getting ready to get his green jacket, and you're sitting there because you're the low-am champ?
It's incredible. It's inspiring. Anytime just watching it on TV is pretty incredible, but sitting next to him, you could feel you could basically feel what it's like to win, like his emotion. It was kind of, it lit up the whole room as soon as he walked in. And you know, I've been thinking about it a lot, just sitting there next to him, and how much it would mean. And I'm still watching highlights from not just this year, but like I think right now I'm watching 2011 highlights, the year that Schwartzel won. It would mean so much to me to, you know, just to contend, but, you know, dreaming of being in that cabin, knowing what it feels like to be in that cabin is incredible. It's something that I'll never forget, and I think something that will motivate me in the future to want to be back there, and if I do get back there, to really have a chance.
Where do you go from here?
Big 12s, that's the next thing. You know, much of the spring has been leading up to last week, but, you know, that is not the most important thing on my schedule. I wouldn't be here if national championships and Big 12 championships didn't mean anything to me. And you know, my teammates are like my brothers, and I've been on a heck of a ride for the last 3 years, and I want to end it on a really high note. And I know it's not easy to win a national championship. It's not easy to win Big 12 championships, even though it seems like it is when we won 5 in a row. But you know, we got some formidable opponents this year, some really good teams in the Big 12. But I feel really good about where our team is and where we're looking towards. And now that I'm going to be back on the squad for this next one, looking forward to Southern Hills next week.
What's the reaction been like for you walking around campus after, you know, your face was plastered all over TV during the Masters? Have you had people just come up and say it was so cool to see you or anything like that?
Yeah, I had a couple of encounters. You know, I didn't expect any because I got maybe 10 seconds of TV time on Sunday, and deservingly so. I shot 8 over. I lost by 23 shots. So, I mean, it's not like I played amazing. I played good enough, and I played as good as maybe I could hope for, playing in my first pro event, first Masters, and first major championship. But, you know, those guys stole the show because they played really good. And to get any sort of credit for playing the way I did is pretty amazing. I got in some warm applause in some of my classes, and I think on the way over here I got someone that wanted to take a snap with me. So that's kind of cool, but you know, tied for 50th place is not what I dreamed of as a kid, and as good of a week as it was, it's a motivator to want to do better if I get the chance next time.
Is that a new experience for you, people on campus stopping you or walking into class and getting an ovation?
I'm usually the guy that's asked to take the picture of Bo Hostler with somebody else, so it was kind of funny to be, you know, like, I think we were at a course yesterday as guests, and my teammate was telling me, like, they're like, oh, the Texas team is here today. Do you think Doug is out here? And I was like, that's so weird to hear, because I'm usually out there and someone will come up to me and go, is Bo out here today? And I was like, he'll probably be here in like 20 minutes, but I'll let you know that he's looking for you, or that you're looking for him. So it's nice, but you know, attention is not what I play for. It's you know, the feeling of accomplishment and working hard and contending. You know, as winning is awesome, obviously, but just being in there in the battle and feeling all the hard work paying off is why I do it, and it brings me a lot of joy. And you know, it's cool to have attention, and it's one of the perks on the way, but that's not the sole reason of why I play.
With all the great things that you went through last week, what was the one that stands out the most for you?
I guess the hole out on 18 on the first round, not just because of the shot, but just experiencing that with my dad on the bag was special. Throughout the day, we got some applause, and deservedly so, because I was playing with Mr. Lyle, who's a past champion, and it was his 30-year anniversary of him winning the tournament. And so it was a special year for him, and he played very well, and he was holding his own for a very long time. And so when we stepped onto a lot of the tees coming from different holes, we got applause, and most of it was because of Mr. Lyle. And when I had hold that shot, just walking up that green and knowing that I didn't have the stress of actually having to putt out was nice, but just they were going crazy for me, and I knew it was for me. And when I picked the ball out of the hole, they just erupted. And just to be in that moment of the spotlight with my father and have my family in the background was special. I know Coach Fields was out there too, and it's a moment that I'll never forget. And I remember telling my dad, I said, "Can you imagine if we had like a 2-shot lead on Sunday walking up here?" There were some empty chairs still when we were out there, and just to know that somebody that week was going to walk up knowing that it was his tournament to win, and there's going to be no empty chairs out there is something that I really, really hope that I get one day, and I'm going to work my butt off to get a chance at that. But it's a moment that I'll never forget, and it was really special.
Have you gone back and watched all the times that you appeared on TV at people showing it to you, or have you gone back and just caught what you could of shots or whatever that they showed highlights of that you were on?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't. It was pretty cool. I think the Masters tournament had like a 2.5 minute highlight reel of what I did throughout the week, and it was cool to see from a different perspective, because it was like watching someone else, and I could recall some of the thoughts that I had. Like, for example, the first eagle that I had of the week, when not even trying to go close to that pin, I was just trying to put it somewhere 30 feet right of it and have an easy birdie, because I desperately needed one at the time. And it went right at it, and I was like, in the beginning it was like, oh no. And then I watched it and it was on a good line. I was like, I might have gotten away with one there. And it landed and the crowd went nuts. And I was like, wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. And to make the putt was a bonus. So it was just kind of things like that. Just to the viewer, they're probably like, wow, that was a great shot. And it might be honestly like, that wasn't exactly what I was trying to do there. But, it's cool. I'm lucky to have as much coverage of me as I had throughout the week, and they made me look pretty good, that's for sure.